r/ask Reddit. What's a very common thing that you just cannot relate to? Dancing. I wish I knew, but I'm just awkward. I hate dancing as well. I just feel stupid doing it. I don't have fun and I'm not good at it. The worst part is that people don't get it. They try to drag me thinking I'm just shy and I will have fun once I'll be in the middle of it. Duck off please. I'd rather sit here and drink this bottle of wine alone. Why people are so interested in the personal lives of celebrities. My girlfriend's mom was watching Entertainment Tonight during our time there during Christmas and was way too into it. Like, oh my god, are they really getting divorced? As if she knows them. Putting your life up for the world to see on Facebook or Instagram. And complaining about FB's nefarious data handling on FB. Nah, it's fine. I posted a status saying they aren't allowed to. Back when I was on Facebook I actually appreciated those statuses. Was basically a flashing neon light to click on hide updates from this person. Friends and family getting into intense, heated arguments at the dinner table on special occasions, like birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc. Ruining the moment for everyone. Credit card debt. I hear seemingly rational people talk about maintaining massive levels of credit card debt, like it's normal. I could never live like that. All it takes is one mistake. I never would live like that. I realized that in order to buy a house, I had to have credit. I worked at that for a couple years. Had several credit lines at various places, all constantly paid off, while focusing on my career so I can be paid enough to buy a house. Near perfect credit score. I was driving down the road about 6 months ago and an uninsured driver hit me. Now I've got debt that it's gonna take a while to pay off. One of my cards was maxed, $2,000, and one other half balance, $500. It doesn't sound like much, and it's gone down a little, but it's all I can focus on. I end up so stressed thinking about money because I have to make payments on it, pay interest. I plan on having it paid off by April. Can't believe it's taken me this long. I'm sure $2,500 sounds like nothing compared to school loans and stuff, but it's the most debt I've ever been in. Sleepovers. Parents thought it was gay, and I was never allowed to do it. Sounds like at least one of your parents did some very gay things at a sleepover at least once. No, actually, my mother went to a sleepover once, and her friend's pants and underwear were completely removed. So, by that logic, I can't go to sleepovers. The trope that being married being a joyless, soul-sucking burden, just barely tolerated by two people who just stew at being leashed to each other and blame any and everything on their spouse. That's poor communication skills and questionable life choices, not a marriage, and not particularly funny to watch or grow up under either. Peer pressure to do drugs. I was never pressured to drink, smoke, or do anything. It was offered to me every time and nobody gave a shit if I said no. Weed is expensive. So is alcohol. Nobody is interested in wasting it by passing it along to someone who doesn't want it. I remember a cool girl in my high school once invited me to go on a smoke break with her, so I went, and when we got to the corner she stopped and took out her pack of cigs, turned to me and asked if I smoked. I was all ready to deal with the dreaded peer pressure to tell her no, but she just said good, never start, it's a terrible habit. She's cool alright. All my life I'd been told that people would pressure me into smoking, drinking, drugs. No one ever did. I just kind of started. I'm fine with drinking and occasionally beating Mary Jane. But duck me, smoking is the worst thing on the planet. Not one smoker I've met has ever pressured anyone else to try smoking, because we know how stupidly addictive it is. Thrice I have even seen people slap a dude's cigarette away when he's just started. Or in one case was a guy who was like, I wanna try it. Taking selfies. I'm simply too shy or embarrassed to do so. I'm too fat and ugly to do it. My only redeeming quality is I can make fun of myself, and now you've stolen my thunder. Cheating culture. You know, all the funny memes from Twitter about having multiple significant others, lamenting about being cheated on, etc. I just don't get it. I have never cheated and never have been cheated on, to my knowledge. I literally don't relate to those memes. High school being the best years of someone's life. Graduated, went for a movie the day they gave us our diplomas and never looked back. My high school years were hell. I didn't even go to my graduation ceremony. Being able to snap your fingers. I never learned how. Nice try, Thanos. You know that guy has to have badass superhuman strength when he managed to snap his fingers while wearing a giant metal gauntlet. I can't snap my fingers when wearing latex gloves. Pain from wisdom teeth. I've gotten very lucky. Mine practically didn't hurt at all when they came through. Mine don't hurt, but came in sideways, so my dentist wants me to get them removed anyways to prevent cavities. If you can afford it, I recommend it. Had all 4 removed since one of them gave me grief and the other one was trying to make a tunnel into the neighboring tooth rather than to come up the right way. It was a wee bit painful after surgery and it took proper rinsing for a while just to avoid having bits of food down in the craters. But now I'm rid of them, so they can't hurt me no more. You hear me, demon teeth? You can't hurt me. Enjoying clubbing. Waiting in lines for an eternity. Possibly getting turned away at the door for whatever dumb reason. Paying crazy prices for alcohol. Having to literally yell in people's ears in order for them to hear you because the music is deafening. Etc. Also, I can't dance, but that's more my fault than the clubs. Never learned how to whistle. I've tried so hard to, I just can't. Broken bones. Never so much as sprained an ankle. Actually having people I am interested in like me back. Welcome to the club. I thought we discussed we didn't like clubbing. Shopping. Shopping is a chore for me. I don't find enjoyment in going out and buying clothes for myself all the time. People's close relationship with their mothers. My parents split when I was young and we were never very close. On the same note, the tragedy of losing your mother. Mine passed away when I was 21 and the most distressing part for me was I didn't know how to react. Other people break down but I just didn't feel that strongly. It was just news. My mom was a narcissist and treated me horribly. So when she was killed when I was 19, I wasn't as traumatized by the loss of her versus having my dad go to jail. He killed her. When everyone goes she loved you so much, it seems empty because of how she treated me. Still have no understanding when people talking about a mother's love. I'm very afraid of this. I'm one of 8 kids. My mother has always made it very clear that she only tolerates me, but she also made it very clear that she loves my siblings unconditionally. This continues to this day. My siblings do not understand why I only feel dirt for caring for or about my mother. I don't have that mother/daughter love for her at all. I know I'll be sad when she dies, but I'll also feel a huge sigh of relief that I don't have to pretend anymore. I'll watch my siblings cry, and I'll be indifferent. Wanting a big wedding? No thanks. I'm glad I didn't waste my money on a party for other people. Being rude to your BF husband. Many times I'll hear co-worker/neighbors ask me why I say thank you/please when my BF makes kind gestures or when I ask him for help things. I get that he's supposed to do that for you, why thank him? He's your boyfriend. It really irks me how some women are just plain mean rude to a man and it seems like the norm. Expanding on that, this whole culture where being mean snarky is considered funny and standard. I blame all these shitty sitcoms and reality shows. Everyone wants to make life a reality show these days. Even our politics. Have people forgotten that saying nice things to others makes them happy? Slot machines. To think that you have a system or you know which machine is hot just seems dumb to me. It's such an obviously rigged game that it just feels like bye money, but people swear they can beat the house. One better. Slot machine tournaments. My parents participated in them and I never quite understood their explanation of how the events work. I think my father won one once. So good on him. Is it just who can get the highest number from the random number generator? I know most tournaments or games have some degree of randomness, but there's also technique or strategy that can be applied to minimize the random effect. But I don't see that in pressing the spin button over and over. Nosebleeds. I've never gotten them. What are they like? As a frequent nosebleeder, read, had my nose cauterized 3 times now. They suck. It's like having a runny nose but you can't sniff to stop the liquid coming out. The taste of blood is awful. You have to sit and pinch your nose and that's boring. And if it's a bad one your hand starts to cramp from the pinching. If the bleed is high up in your nose, it runs down the back of your throat no matter how far forward you lean. If you sniff too soon after it stops, you dislodge nice big blood clot you've created and then have to cough it out. If it's particularly bad, very high up so pinching doesn't help form a clot, you will spend time coughing up blood into a trash can, having blood come out your tear ducts, and have to go to an after hours clinic and have an 8cm long nose tampon, yes that's a thing, shoved up there and left an overnight. Gore. I love scary movies, but outright gore for extended periods of time is too much for me. Psychological thrillers are so much better. I'll take The Shining over the standard bloody slasher any day. Ed Sheeran. His voice is okay, but I cannot understand the hype. Every song sounds the same as he nervously hums along. Wanting to be pregnant. As a man, I completely agree with that. Spending money on coffee drinks every morning. Like, is it really worth the hassle of having to go to the store to get a drink? Also, the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee every morning adds up. I am just too plain cheap to do that. Being happy most of the time and genuinely believing in yourself. I actually think this is less common than the alternative. Raising kids. My friends with young twins invited us over to hang out last night. It was a good time and their kids are great, but man do they manage to make a lot of noise, make huge mess and require a lot of attention. It's fun and fascinating to play with them for a few hours, but having to deal with that 24/7 would be way too much for me to handle and I'd go nuts. We don't have kids. Never wanted any. A friend came over one time to a party and was one of the last ones to leave. He has 3 kids. He just sat on the couch and said, "I don't want to leave. It's so quiet here." We were like, yup, that's the way we like it. Sports. Particularly football. I grew up in the South and went to a high school that treated football as a religion. It had one of the best football teams in the country. My family is obsessed with football. My friends love football. Everyone I know can have a conversation about football. I know Tim Tebow used to pray when he made a touchdown. I'm a 27-year-old, straight, American man and I don't even know the rules. I couldn't be less interested. It's pretty awkward when someone just strikes up a conversation about some player I never heard of as if I should know these things and I have to ask who they're talking about. People actually wanting to leave home and socialize. Needing to find a way socialize every moment. I mean, I know it is necessary every now and then, but I also like to be alone in my own headspace. Selfies. An expansion of that is most social media. Following celebrities. Constant texting with a partner. There are many more for me. I'm a woman and it baffles me how other women have long nails. How do you wipe your ass? How do you type? How do you do anything? Caring about the performance of sports teams from your college, especially if you haven't been there for years. I don't understand why people care so much about strangers. Traveling. Reddit tends to downvote the hell out of me whenever I say it, but I just don't get the allure of traveling. Sure, the places look nice, but I'd rather spend my free at home having fun on my laptop or something. I just don't get what's so great about it. Romance. I can't relate to diamonds, big weddings, or romantic dates. It would be wonderful to have a life partner, but it's not about money and beautiful surroundings. It's about him and us. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.